So this is just a bit of a fill in at the start because I forgot to mention a couple of things. Um, so we're doing a bit of like image tracing here in order to put a bit of artwork on the fire. So you'll see me, I'll be going through black and white images, and that's just because it's got the high contrast and that helps image tracing. And the size of the image helps as well. So the larger the image is, the more precise a image trace you're going to get out of it. This isn't necessary for what you're doing, but it's just good thing to know that the software can do. Alright, so I just going to make a wee sort of bonus video here. So say this is a part of my fire and I want to put some sort of artwork on here. So what we can do is we can just go to Google and type in advanced image search. And say I want to put a cool looking flame on there, and let's make sure it's a large and black and white. Any format, it should be alright. If it's a large photo or a large image, ideally you want an SVG file, but we'll see what comes up as just as any image. See, we've got a bunch of different flames here. So let's find one that we can download and use. So it's quite a large image. So it's 5,000 by 5,000 pixels. Save image. Wait for that to come up. And I'm going to put that, I'll just put it in downloads today. Flame. Now what we can do here is we go new tab and let's go to convertio.com and we'll go choose file, find that file, and we want to convert that to CAD DXF. Let's convert that one. And re-download it. And let's open it up, see what we came up with. So here's a bunch of different flame designs that came off that drawing. So this website, it's do the tracing for you. So it has edge detection. One thing you want to keep in mind is these ones seem okay, but some shapes you're going to have bits that will fall out if you're going to cut them out. But anyway, I think I like this one down the bottom right, so I'm going to go delete the rest. And yep, I like that flame. And I want to put some sort of word there, so I might go into Word. And make a nice big text size, and I'll just write flame, why not? And I'm just going to go through the different fonts to find one that looks cool. So there's one called Stencil, which is kind of handy because you can just cut it straight out like that and it won't have any bits that fall out. But just for an example here, I want to find something that will have problems, just so I can fix it. So a lot of the stuff you're better off with something with a bit of a rounded edge of this plasma. It's not perfect, and you want a thicker format too, so you can go bold or you can just keep going through the text. You find something that's a bit thicker. So aerial, rounded, bold, that looks good to me, nice and simple. And I'm going to make that as large as I can in one line. And I'll get the space bar out the way. If you go to your computer and you look up snip and sketch, or snipping tool, grab that. And I'll go new, and I'm just going to drag that there. And I'll save that along with the other thing I just did. So flame, let's see, flame word will do. Alright, so I'll close out of that. And I'm just going to go back to Convertio again and convert that snip that I just took into a DXF. Convert to CAD DXF. And we'll download that one. So here's our word flame. And the other drawing that was open there is the flame itself. So I'm just going to put these both on one piece. So I'll grab that, right click, go to clipboard and cut. Then you should better go to your other file and paste it there. So the flame itself is quite a lot smaller than the writing. So I'll put that up there. I'll grab this writing and I'm going to scale this down a fair bit. So they're both about the right size to each other. Doesn't matter what size they are at the moment. And I'm just going to go move and I'm going to put that underneath here. And what I can do as well is just go shift right click and go none, so no snap settings. So it'll just move the writing itself and you won't grab anything. So there's our, say that's our symbol we want, rough enough. Now what we need to do is we're going to put it on the face of this part here. So this is 400 by 400. It's part of my imaginary fire. So I need to go close out of that one and no. There's my design. So let's put a 400 by 400 square in there. So we'll do that rectangle there. And I'm just going to insert this at 0, 0. I'm going to make it 400 by 400. And that's turns out that's quite small. So let's grab this and I'll zoom out a bit. And I'll scale this up to where it's going to fit nicely. Where I think it's going to fit nicely. Maybe about that. Let's grab that again. Move this onto our plate. So it's still looking a bit big, so I'm just going to put it a little bit to the right here. And I'm going to scale it again. Right click, scale. I'll select that as the base point this time. And about here will do. What you can do now, if you like, is you can do a line, shift right click, midpoint, to shift right click, midpoint like that. And do the same going the other way. just like that. And that way I can see sort of where the center is. So I'm going to grab all of that. And I'll right click and go move. So you specify the base point, so I'm just going to pick here. And then I'm going to go shift, right click. No snap settings there, none. So I can move this around more freely. And also sometimes it helps to turn off this polar tracking. That can be a bit annoying, can kind of put it in the wrong place. So let's say we want the center of the word to be there. And maybe the flame could go a little bit towards the right, it's a bit in the center. So let's grab that, move just there. Right, so now I know it's in the center of the panel and it's about the right size that I want it. The only problem I'm going to have with this is this A, that center of that A is going to fall out. So what I typically do with this is I'll just get a line, I'll just put a line right through the middle of it like that. And I'll offset it at least 1 mil, but 1.5 is a bit better. I'll go either side of that, like so, and then trim off the excess here. Sometimes it doesn't let you for various reasons, but most of the time it's okay. Trim all the bits off that you don't want, and now that A is held together in the middle. So you can use that stencil font if you like, then you don't have to worry about doing that. But that's just good to know anyway, because sometimes you might be cutting something out here and it might have some detail that's inside here. Say there's like another part of the flame was where my mouse is and it was going to fall out, so you might want to just put a little tag to connect it all together. So what we should do here is you want to save this as a DWG, because the DWGs work quite well with our plasma cutter. So I'm just going to put it in here, and that'll do for now. So ideally you can draw up what you want to cut out here and put it on the panel as well. So what I can do now is I have to go up to the drawing utilities here and go units and make sure these are in millimeters. Go OK. Now I can come to my panel here in Inventor. I can start a sketch on the front here, which should be 400 square or thereabouts. Go back into AutoCAD. I'm going to right click and I'm going to clipboard, copy with base point. I'm just going to pick that bottom corner there. I'll go back into Inventor, right click, paste. You see it sort of comes up with this blank square of where it's going to go, so I'm just going to try and line that up the best I can by eye. Like that. And now that I've got my shape where I want it, I can delete this boundary line. I don't need that. Just one thing to note here is the more complicated the thing is, the longer it's going to take to load. And if you're doing something really complicated, it might crash it. But this is fairly basic. If it's too complicated, you can usually draw the whole panel in AutoCAD and then cut it out from there. So you might want to use your Inventor file to get the outline of the panel and then place this in through AutoCAD. And you don't necessarily have to show it on the drawing in Inventor. It can just be, part of your file. So let's go finish sketch here and cut all this out if it will let us. So there we go. I've got a cool bit of art in my panel. And I didn't have to sit there for hours drawing it all up. It only took about 10 minutes. And I should be able to go to the flat pattern. That should work out fine as well. So there we go. I'm going to save this. And I should be able to get this and right click, export this face as a DXF by itself. So that'll all come through as one. Like I was saying though, sometimes if it's quite a complicated thing that you've cut out of there, then that might cause you a few issues. So you're better off just drawing it in AutoCAD and lining it all up in there. I'll export this one though, because it looks like it's going to work alright. You can see why it's sometimes it can be a bit tricky to load in here. See all these yellow dots? They're all points. So basically the conversion thing turns it into a bunch of arcs. So this will be made out of heaps and heaps of arcs. You can see all the arc there, and they all have different center points. Does that with the words as well. So it's quite a complicated thing for Inventor to process, but it usually does it right. But yeah, like if I say, just go on AutoCAD and you could just draw the extra bit of the panel there. Let's open it up, see how it came out. I want to look for a DXF. Right, so there's the panel that's come from Inventor. So it looks like it's come through fine. You should definitely save it as a DWG because Plasma Cutter likes DWGs better. And so that's it. Hopefully you guys can find some cool art and put some of your own detail on your flyer.